Very shocked news for show Little People Big World fans. What was the reason for the conflict between Tori and Amy Roloff? Amy Roloff discloses a catastrophic loss in her family, and Karen Chandler ultimately terminates her relationship with Matt Roloff. Sadly, the Roloff family, who rose to fame on the reality show Little People Big World, has lost a significant number of loved ones over the years. The family has grown closer in spite of the anguish they have experienced, which is a testament to Matt's father, Ronald. Matt Roloff, a renowned actor, composed a poignant tribute to his father, Ronald James Roloff, who passed away unexpectedly at the age of 84 earlier this year. The obituary was composed by the deceased son with great emotion. The Roloff family endured a week of sorrow. My father, who was affectionately known as Papa by his 10 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren, passed away peacefully last night to be with his Lord and Savior. Ron, who was an exceptional spouse, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, served as an inspiration to numerous individuals. His genuine enthusiasm for individuals was apparent to all who encountered him. Throughout his lifetime and in the final hours of his existence, his devotion to Jesus was evident. Matt had already addressed his father's battle with chronic lymphocytic leukemia prior to his passing. Matt had to endure the demise of his brother in addition to bidding farewell to his sibling at an early age. Josh Roloff passed away at the age of 34 in 1999. Doctors discovered that he had severe pulmonary and cardiac conditions when he was a young lad. His family has maintained the memory of him for an extended period of time following his departure. Josh was an exceptional son, brother, uncle, and friend who was with us for an insufficient amount of time. In their book Small Family, Big Values, they even included a chapter about Josh. We all frequently contemplate your presence, yearn for your return, and are anxious to see you in the presence of our Jesus. Amy, Matt's former wife, announced her engagement to Chrid Marek in 2019, and her mother, Patricia Knight, passed away unexpectedly. She acknowledged, "The past 2 weeks have been quite an experience." Different sentiments. I am exhilarated that Chris has proposed to me as his wife, but I am also deeply saddened by the news that my sister passed away the following day, and that my father has informed me that she is currently hospitalized. She passed away on the 24th, a few days after my mother's passing. I was overcome by desperation, and my heart was in pain. I was uncertain as to how I should be feeling. It is possible that Jacob, the firstborn of Matt and Amy, encountered his brother-in-law at some point. In 2019, he wedded his wife, Isabel. Nevertheless, the exact date of their encounter remains uncertain, unless it occurred before 2012. Tom, Isabel's sibling, will never have encountered Jacob. A catastrophic railway catastrophe claimed Tom's life. Isabel and Jacob both have sons, and Isabel has assured her son that he will be well informed about his uncle. She stated last year that he would be well informed about you, how you would make me smile every time I wept, the manner in which you composed some genuinely remarkable music prior to your passing. Uncle Tom, you will be well known to my son. Toni Garraton, Isabel's mother, passed away 2 years following her brother's demise. She wrote on social media at the time, "Sorrow is an intriguing creature. 1 minute, you may be traveling down a road in your community that you and your mother have frequented, and the next, you may find yourself abruptly required to apply the brakes. I am under the impression that I detected her fragrance and heard her chuckle at that precise moment. It is evident in every aspect of my life how much I loved her. She is famous because they were intended to preserve her image. All the memories resurfaced. We were inseparable, and I will persist in accompanying her on this journey for an indefinite period, constantly regretting her absence." Amy Roloff has been a fixture on TLC for more than a decade. However, this does not necessarily equate to her status as an audience darling. Amy is disliked by Little People Big World fans for the following reasons. Amy Roloff's management of her relationships with her ex-husband Matt Roloff and their 4 children has dismayed TLC viewers, despite her status as a consistent presence on Little People Big World. After 22 complete seasons and 16 years on television, the Roloff children, Zach, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, have all reached adulthood with their own companions and children. In addition, Amy, the former co-owner of the Roloff farm in Oregon, no longer has a legal claim to the prosperous pumpkin field. Amy and Matt divorced in 2016 following nearly 30 years of marriage. Matt acquired Amy's portion of the property as part of the settlement. Despite the fact that Amy and Matt's separation permanently altered Little People, Big World, the two former companions soon developed romantic relationships with other individuals. Matt and Karen Chandler initially became acquainted over a decade ago when Karen began to labor on the farm. Their relationship commenced in early 2017. Nevertheless, Amy and Chrid Marek were united in matrimony in August 2021, following a 2-year engagement. Although Amy portrays the Roloff matriarch, Little People, Big World would be incomplete without her. However, this does not necessarily indicate that the 57-year-old is the audience's favorite. In reality, there are admirers who harbor animosity toward Amy. The following are the primary arguments against Amy becoming the preferred Roloff family member among TLC viewers. Amy and Matt declared their intention to officially separate as early as 2014, despite the fact that they filed for divorce in 2015. Amy is not entirely blameless. Although some individuals believe that Matt and Karen were socializing behind Amy and the children's backs, a significant number of individuals believe that Amy was unable to mature as a single woman before marrying Chrid because she was consumed by her divorce. A sincere admirer expressed their belief that Amy was only marrying Chrid because she desired to be married shortly before she was married again. August, a Redditor, expressed his agreement with the message, stating, "I wish Amy had figured out how to handle her apparent resentment towards Matt and Karen before being involved with someone else." Zach's twin siblings, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, are of average height and do not possess achondroplasia, the form of dwarfism that Amy inherited. Amy has been accused by fans of favoring Zach and Jeremy over Molly and Jacob since the first few seasons of Little People, Big World. User Puzzled Job 22 stated that she was 100% invested in the twins, 25% invested in Molly, and approximately 5% invested in Jacob, despite the fact that Zach is the only Roloff child presently featured on the program. Amy, who has inspired fans, reflected on the Roloff's early years on TLC. Phantom of the Farm concurred in a separate thread, stating, "Unquestionably, Jacob and Molly were disregarded and neglected during their early years. Amy is similarly preoccupied with the twins, which is why they are the focus of the program. Amy's passive-aggressive remarks and her disheveled home are the concluding straw that turns off Little People, Big World supporters." Amy is criticized by TLC viewers for her tendency to become agitated when she is not satisfied with the outcome and for her tendency to provide comfort to Zach and Jeremy. In summation, Puzzled Job stated that enabling children and allowing them to develop a lack of responsibility is a form of poor parenting, despite the fact that viewers recognize that Matt has his own set of troublesome tendencies. The children are primarily uncontrollable and do whatever they want, despite the fact that Amy appears to be very stern and harsh on camera. Despite the fact that viewers have held unfavorable opinions of Amy, Matt's ex-wife has no intention of departing, particularly in light of the ongoing dispute between the Roloffs regarding the farm's future in season 26. Amy Roloff serves as the binding home for Little People, Big World. The mother of 4 has consistently endeavored to preserve the family's unity and stability. However, she is not a magician, as she also had a disagreement with Matt Roloff, her spouse, and the patriarch of the family. Amy and Matt's separation was precipitated by Amy's purported affair with Karen Chandler, the farm manager who is currently Matt's fiancée. Even Jeremy and Zach, as well as their spouses Audrey and Tori, are unable to establish a rapport due to their contrasting ideologies. Amy's family-holding abilities have maintained everyone's satisfaction despite the intricate dynamics. However, Tori, the protagonist of Little People, Big World, disclosed a personal detail that has the potential to influence public perception. Tori expressed optimism that all would be well. The situation has become somewhat chaotic as a result of Matt Roloff, the family patriarch, opting to sell the land. The decision would be recognized by Little People, Big World observers as the commencement of the family's primary disputes. Matt and Amy's intentions to transfer the land to their children as a legacy were altered subsequent to their divorce. Zach and Jeremy, the identical siblings, endeavored to acquire the land. However, they were unsuccessful. Consequently, Zach and his family relocated to Battleground, Washington. Amy has consistently endeavored to maintain the family's harmony despite the circumstances. Nevertheless, Tori disclosed to the cameras that she and her mother-in-law, Amy Roloff, had a disagreement. The professional photographer was selecting a dress for a date night with Zach in a recent episode of Little People, Big World when the conversation ensued. Additionally, she inquired about her husband's perspective on the matter. Tori disclosed the extent of her previous intimacy with Amy. The two previously spent a significant amount of time together, engaging in activities such as shopping and socializing. However, the Little People Big World alum acknowledged that she and Amy experienced a difficult period in the past. Additionally, the mother of three expressed her desire for a more positive relationship with Amy. Producers were caught off guard by the unanticipated revelation that emerged while they were seeking additional information from the Little People Big World star. Despite Tori's lack of communication beforehand, the information was profoundly surprising. Tori is of the opinion that she must undergo some personal transformations. The producers endeavored to determine the cause of the challenging period. Tori asserted that the tension was the consequence of Amy's persistent and unwelcome advice following her motherhood. She also stated that Zach attempted to alleviate the ambiance by interfering. "I have observed her work. I reside with her. There is still work to be done." Despite Tori's belief that she should be more receptive, this year has been challenging for her and Zach due to their protracted dispute with Matt Roloff. The duo has severed their relationship with him, particularly as a result of his fiancée, Karen Chandler. Nevertheless, the patriarch of the family is of the opinion that Zach and Tori should abandon the past and concentrate on the future.